All right, we were just about to put in these counterbored holes into our section view. So we are going to run lines down from the top view. Now, I could use offset if I were feeling confident. But honestly, I like to play it safe. I know for sure where these things are, and I just really want to be extra double sure that I'm getting them in the right spot. Hello, line. And notice how I'm ensuring that I have a perpendicular O-snap at the bottom. Alrighty. Now, let me zoom in here. And let me do trim, or TR as I like to do it. I'm going to just use a right crossing window to trim those, and a right crossing window to trim those. This. Trimming, trimming, trimming. There. All right. I probably have some stray lines somewhere. Some previous. No, looking pretty good. And let me get this line down here. Bring it down. These are a little bit long, but I guess they're okay. I don't know. I'm using the, oh, looky here what I'm doing. S for stretch, right crossing window. Anything inside the right crossing window, any point inside the right crossing window gets selected, and you can then move it. That's what the stretch command does. Alrighty, let's get a cutting plane line going on here. So I'm going to select cutting plane. That's a thick phantom line. And I've still got ortho on. So I'm just going to come out here. I could measure things. I could measure a nice distance out there, but I'm just going to start zigzagging across my part. I'm going to come out here a ways. All right. And that is on the cutting plane layer, even though you can't tell it at the moment. Now I need cutting plane arrows. And ASME says that these arrows have to be twice as long as a dimension arrow. So these arrows have to be 1/4 of an inch long. That means I cannot just use a regular old leader. The arrow would be too short. So I'm going to come to the Annotate tab, to the Leaders panel, look for Leader Style, and I have created a cutting plane leader style. I did that by doing a new. Let's go look at what's in that cutting plane style. So now I have two leader styles, my standard, which is just regular arrows, and my cutting plane. And in the leader format, where the arrow lives, notice I have set the size at 1/4, 0.25. I want to point out one other thing. In the Leader Structure tab, normally we have this landing turned on. For a regular leader, we select Automatically Include Landing. That's that little horizontal leg. But for a cutting plane line, we don't want that. We want to uncheck that so that we just get a straight leader. Okay, and now current leader style is standard. I want to click cutting plane and set current. I want cutting plane to be the current leader style right now. Close. Okay, now I could do something stupid, which is what I usually do, but this time I'm going to do something smart. I'm going to turn on my object snap tracking so that I get those green ghost lines. That makes it easier. And now I'm going to get a multi-leader right there. And with this tracking turned on, I can see that green ghost line there. I can line up with the end of my cutting plane line and enter, escape to get out of there. And let me get a multi-leader again, come over to the other end. Because I have tracking on, I get that nice green line thing there. Drag down to this endpoint and escape to get out of there. Okay, now we do not want center lines under our cutting plane line. That would be bad. We wouldn't be able to see the dashes. So I'm going to erase that layout line I had and erase that layout line I had. And looky there, you can now see that nice cutting plane line. This line here is going to be a center line, so I'm going to keep that one. I just did a shift right click to pull up the nearest point. Let me do that again. Shift right click. I want to O-snap to a nearest point, little bow tie symbol there. Okay, so now let's change, and these are a little bit too extreme. So this center line is going to go beyond the nose. This center line, let me zoom in, this center line is going to go just beyond the round thing, which is that slot. Right there. Okay, now these things are center lines. And these three are center lines. So I've selected them all. Go back to the Home tab. Select the center layer, and there they are. They are center lines. Now, the last thing I want to do before I start putting on dimensions... Oh, no, I'm missing a hidden line up here, aren't I? Oops. See that notch there in the front view? That is going to appear as a hidden line in the top view. Oh no, I'm on the cutting plane layer. No problem. I can move it to the hidden layer. So I've got that line selected because I was just moving stuff. And I'll just hit the hidden layer, and there we go. Yay! All right, now let's hatch this thing. What is now a front view, that's going to become a section view. So let's go up to our layers and get the hatch layer. That is a thin line, and in my drawing it's yellow. You could change it if you wanted to. All right. And now, where the heck is the hatch command? Do. Looking. There it is right there. Hatch. Now, let me point out one thing before we hatch. Let's go to our title block. Our title block, if we double click to open the viewport, you notice that our scale is 1:1. Double click to close the viewport, and I've got 1:1 written there. So our viewport scale is 1:1. That relates not only to our dimension style, but also to our hatch scale. So now we know what our scale is. Click the hatch button. Let's check the scale. Yes, here's the scale. It is still set at 1. That's very good. So that's going to make the hatch lines spaced correctly. And what pattern do we want? We just want our plain old ANSI 131. And we could select some boundary lines to go around here, but that would be tedious. So let's just pick points. Click, and come down here to our drawing, and click. Now it's picked an area inside where some lines are. We need to keep going, don't we? Because we need hatch here, click, and we need hatch here, click. And that is all of the hatching, so we can enter to accept. And there, my friends, is a nice looking top view with a cutting plane line and a section view with hatching. And now the next thing we will do, I won't do this, you know how to do dimensioning quite well, but I just want to point out, the next thing we will do is get on the dimension layer and begin dimensioning all this stuff to match the picture that we have in our assignment. And we will add a note in all caps that says, note, all fillets are radius 1/4 unless otherwise specified. And there we go.